Hello and welcome back to another video. In this video, rather unsurprisingly, we're going to be having a look at Burna boyz. I did mention in a previous video, I haven't yet done one, which seems a bit silly for me. I mean, short of 7th edition, possibly, or index, who knows. Anyway, so we're going to have a look at the 8th edition Burna boyz. If you haven't already, please hit the subscribe button with your Burna and destroy the bell button so that you never miss an upload. Cool. So we'll have a look at the stats. Again, I'll try not to zoom around too much, but if you want to do a screenshot, feel free to do it now. Boom. Cool. So Burna boyz, what have we got? We've got a 5-inch move, a weapon skill of 3+, ballistic skill of 5+, strength and toughness 4, 1 wound, 2 attacks, leadership 6, and a 6-up save. So basically, like an orc boy, to be honest. So what sets them aside? So we'll have a little look at the bit underneath the stats. This unit contains 5 Burna boyz, so you can't have less, which is okay. It can include up to additional 5 Burna boyz for 3 power level rating, so making it 6. Up to 10 additional Burna boyz, power rating of 6+. So you can have 15 models, which is good. You're probably not going to be running 15. We'll talk about that in a minute. For every 5 models in that unit, a spanner can take the place of 1 Burna boy. Each Burna boy is armed with a burner and stick bombs. Each spanner is armed with stick bombs and either a custom mega blaster, big shooter, or rocket launcher. And we'll talk about those guys in a tick. So your burner, which is the main weapon, has a 8-inch range. Assault D3, so unlike flamers, it's not D6, it is D3, and again I'll talk about why I think that could be. So strength 4, AP nothing, strength, damage 1, so this is a standard flamer type weapon with the exception of the D3 instead of D6. Before the unit fires this weapon, roll once for the number of attacks and use this for all burners fired by the unit until the end of the phase. This weapon automatically hits its target, so meaning you're auto hitting. Your orc ballistic skill is ignored in this one. What we'll talk about later more specifically, but I will say probably don't go for bad moves with these guys unless they're just an additional unit in your army. The burner in melee, which is the second one up from the bottom, has a user strength, so strength 4, -2 AP, and 1 damage. So obviously it's not going to auto hit, but it is going to be pretty damaging. So you've got 2 attacks apiece, hitting on 3, so more often than not hitting, and you are going to be getting the -2 on the save, so making a Space Marine a 5-up save and going straight through a guardsman armor and neophytes, that kind of thing. So it's pretty good going against infantry, with the fact that it's coupled with the fact that their shooting attack is also pretty darn good. Other traits, so you got stick bombs, you're probably not going to be using them, to be brutally honest. A grenade D6, strength 3. It's not that good, to be honest, so you're probably not going to use it. There's going to be bits where you're going to use it, but probably not. I think this is a new rule, the Pyromaniacs, that wasn't in the index. If the unit destroys an enemy unit in a shooting phase, it automatically passes morale tests until the start of your phase. So at the start, beginning first turn, you're probably not going to be worrying about that too much, but it's a good little bonus, basically. Mechanic. Somebody please spell that out in the comments. I've made a mistake in previous videos. It would be lovely to hear how to say that in English and in orc speak, to be honest. At the end of your move phase, a spanner can repair a single friendly clan vehicle model within 1 inch, and the model regains 1 lost wound. A model can only be repaired once per turn. So this is going to talk about a little tactic that you can do, which is obvious, and orcs have been doing this from the beginning of time, from the dawn of time. You are probably going to put them in a truck. This is why I'm saying you're probably not going to take a full 15, squad of 15. You are likely going to be putting them in trucks so they can automatically hit and measure anywhere from the truck, therefore making their banners a bigger threat range. So 12-inch move, I think it is. 8-inch, so you're going to be having a 20-inch threat bubble, effectively, unless you advance, which you could... I think you can still fire, but we'll talk about that. So are you going to be taking any of the spanners? Possibly. You don't have to. But if you do, I would probably bring either the rocket launcher or the big shooter. Big shooter is just a favourite of mine, but the rocket launcher is pretty good in that you can automatically hit. I think in the index possibly, or in 7th edition, you used to be able to use the spanner or that guy to have a combi scorcher, which was a lot better. However, I'd probably go with the rocket launcher, give you a chance of stripping off them wounds. But seeing as how your target's going to be mainly infantry, the big shooter might be the obvious choice. I think it's a lot less points, isn't it, to be honest? So, we've already talked about the thingy. You'd probably have either 11 Burna boys and a big shooting mech spanner guy to heal the truck, unless you're putting them in a, good golly gosh, a battle wagon or something that has a transport of 20. You could also have 2 units of Burna boys and have 20 D3 shots, so somewhere in the region of 20 and 60 shots. But this main tactic, cheaper one, is having 11 or 12. So you can have 12 D3 or 30, somewhere between 12 and 36 auto hitting shots at strength 4, which is pretty sick, to be honest. That's the main thing. So we'll have a look at, or we'll try to have a look at the stratagems. Should we look at the cultures? Yeah, we'll look at the cultures first, to be honest, because this is going to be a tricky one for me, because I don't know which way I would go with them. Actually, possibly go with the Goths now I'm looking about. That seems actually almost obvious. Unmodified hit roll of a 6 for an attack gives an additional hit, which is pretty good. Yeah, so they can't automatically gain extra hits, but you've got 2 attacks. You're going to be hitting on 3s, but you're more than likely going to be getting at least 1 or 2 if you're targeting in the combat phase. If you're sticking in the truck, then maybe don't take that, to be honest. Bad moons, don't go with this one. Reroll hit rolls of 1. It's doing nothing for your auto hits, to be honest. So it's a bit pants. Evil Sons, add 1 to the move. That could be good. You don't have to worry about the penalty. Advancing and firing assault weapons, seems how they're auto hits, so maybe not. This one could be good. 6+ invulnerable save, good. Reroll a single hit, wound roll, or damage roll, so that's not that great, to be honest. The hit roll, you're going to ignore. The wound, probably you're going to use, but it's the 6+ invul on that one. Snake bites, 6+ in feeling no pain. That's good. Sorry about this. This is okay. Blood Axe is, you get +1 as if you're in cover. You're going to get a 5+ save, so probably ignore that one. I would go for the Goths, to be honest. The Goths or the Feel No Pain, or 6+ invulnerable. It would protect the truck, wouldn't it, with the 6+ invulnerable save? But the attacks is probably better, seeing how you're targeting, good golly gosh, infantry. Stratagems, let's have a look. Mob up, that's to do with, it just says infantry, so you could do that. Yep, we'll go for that one. Medisquig, and ignore that one. That's for characters. That's for the Death Colour Wartrike. Warphead is the other guy. The Weird Boy. Ramming speed, that's not our vehicle. Although it does mean you could get your Orc truck back up there and get into combat, roughly. Boarding action, nope. Vehicle, oh no, okay, maybe this is it. Use a stratagem in the end of the fight phase. Select an enemy vehicle unit that cannot fly, so a truck would be one of them, within 1 inch of a truck or a battle wagon from your army. Any models embarked in a truck or battle wagon can make a single attack with one of their melee weapons. So instead of getting you 2 attacks, you get 10 attacks with your 10 or 12, which could be good, without having to get out and worry about the boys getting took damage. However, we are orcs, so probably ignore that one. Extra gubbins, we're going to ignore that. Get stuck in. Use a stratagem in the fight phase when it's your turn to fight. Select a unit to fight, good gosh. Or at the end of the fight phase, select an orc infantry unit that has already fought once in this fight phase to fight a second time. That is insane for these guys. You're going to be getting, what, like we said, about 20 attacks. Hitting on 3s. If you took the Goth stratagem, you're going to be additional 6s are going to be making it insane and wiping out infantry squads that is no tomorrow. Pretty darn good, to be honest. That one's characters. You could use that, but meh, not really. Speed Freaks, subtract 1 to hit. You could do that, but we're not going to be going for Speed Freaks. We've already said that. Mordaka, ignore that because that's useless to us. So auto hit. Add boyz units. That's not us anyway. Teleporter, you could do that. More than 9 inches away, but you would not be able to get your 8-inch range. They specifically did that to be douchey to us, well, to all flamers, to be honest. Stratagem, shooting phase, up to 10 miles, can fire a grenade instead of 1. Meh, not that great. You got auto hitting shots anyway, so just don't go for it. Grot shields, we've talked about this in previous videos. You could use it, but you know, you're probably going to put them in a truck. So again, you could infantry save of +1. Nah, 6-up save. You're not going to be. You're not trying to tank these guys up, to be honest. In my opinion, you're out there to do damage and get in and get out. That's a fly vehicle. I don't mean flies in there. It's fly. It's pretty cool. I mean, as in just it's a flying vehicle. Stop green side, so it says boyz, so that's not accounting to us. Add 1 to wound roll, so that could be good. If you're targeting a wounds characteristic of 10 or more, so tanks, meh. You're not going to be aiming at tanks. You might be aiming at monsters, but probably not. Speed Freaks, immediately move. No, that's not going to count for us. Well, it could. You can use it. Sorry, I'm kind of rambling here, but I'm just... You're not going to use it, to be honest. Reroll a single stratagem. Yeah, reroll a single... You can reroll wound rolls for attacks made that target an enemy vehicle. So again, you're not aiming at vehicles. So don't do it. Don't do it. Showing off. Infantry can fight. Shoot all of its weapons a second time. This is the only exception, I would say, to having bad moons, is that you could make possibly... So we said we're going to have 12 burners in a truck, right? You can make anywhere between 12 and 36 shots, meaning you can make that between 24 and 60, oh my god, 72 attacks that auto hit, which could definitely wipe off units. So you could use bad moons. I probably would still stick to the Goths, to be honest, because there's also that fight again, which we already talked about, I think. Ignore that one, because we're not Goth boys, are we? Yeah, so personally I would go with the Goths, no mucking about, unless you definitely want to try and get in and shoot again and destroy any infantry. However, it has to be at the same squad, so you're hoping to wipe them off in the first place. I'd still go with the Goths, to be honest. Goths are probably best for your Burna boys, in my opinion. Let me know if you disagree with me in the comments down below. 30 minutes is pretty standard for me. It would be lovely to hear if you think that I've missed something, if I've got rules wrong, how you would use them, what transport you'd put them in. Would you teleport them in? I probably wouldn't, but let me know what you think. It would be lovely to hear from you. And as ever, thank you very much for watching. Good day.